search for me.
Certainly, sir. What would you like to look up?
S-223 contract.
Input reinforcement code. Confirm access authorization password.
Listen up. There's no war that will end all wars. Haruki Murakami.
Priority 1 access granted. Welcome to Phantom.
Hello guys. So this is a little live stream. I'm one of those people who likes to make videos and makes like long recordings, and I'm not really feeling the ambition to write out that thing. I'm quite good at live speaking, and of course I've followed scripts before, and I've now done like door to door, so if I find that conversation's quite easy. So we're going to do a little live stream, and I'm going to give a little bit of a thing of reason why fandom does what it does. We're not really following not necessarily the bad way of, like, we call it an offensive. But in reality, we're running it like chess. This is essentially a real-time strategy game because of the Game Master. And I'd love a real-time strategy game of this, like I said before in my last stream. So this is going to be a really quick one. We're going to put this in. I'll upload it to YouTube afterwards. But basically, we want to try and push I know the regular gamers, I should cut back on that. I know the regular gamers probably aren't going to be able to, tune in that sense, because all of them come home from work and, they're not paying attention to, like, the story or the big community. They just want to jump into a game and have some fun. I try to, like, support people and say, there is a Discord for a lot of these people, and, you might be able to have some more fun and enjoy some people who know how to play the game. And, of course, less frustration with randoms who can't play the game or are skill lacking and haven't gained it or haven't had somebody teach them. And so that's been my goal. Like, I've been learning from a lot of people who have helped me over the time. As in my early footage of my stream yesterday, I showed some stuff from when I was like level 3. And I did some like things that I look at and I'm like, okay, what I've improved from it. And that's the whole point in life, is to really improve from everything. So basically right now you're going to look at my stream and you're going to see all of my major order. This is the one I'm following, plus the major order of all the stuff. It is the current major order that essentially follows what they call the defense gambit. The Helldivers companion is actually an amazing tool. I highly recommend it for anybody who wants to stay up to date and doesn't want to log into the game, or they're at work, or maybe you can look up. There is an app like for your like, I'm not sure if there's one for your phone, but there is one for your PC. And so I have it up when I'm like working on projects or working on videos and stuff like this. But we're going to go with a little live feed here because I want to showcase some things. So essentially we're looking at right here. If you can, I could just highlight it, right? No, it won't let me highlight this area. But you can see all the different planets that we're actually defending, and obviously how many players are right here. So that's actually a decent amount for the middle of today. That's actually quite a high number. I love the new incendiary units. They're fun as fuck to play against. I don't want them nerfed. I like them a lot. I still haven't seen a convoy yet. I'm quite unfortunate. But yeah, so obviously we have the live feed of like how many things. Of course, you'll see videos, and super salute. Shout out to you guys, because awesome. And obviously everybody else, Carmen Sarkai, and like I could just go off, and just people I've been watching since before even I had the game. And I was just learning stats, and I was interested in RTS, and I played like Red Alert and all that stuff. So old war stuff, files as we would call it in the quote unquote RP world. So you get all your statistics of basically how many people defending the worlds, and you obviously here. But the one thing I'm here for is like, so you can get your news and everything. This is something like basically an advertisement for the companion. It's great. Sometimes there's some glitches, but either way. So this is essentially my pinned page. So we're going to see all key planets, plus some new ones haven't been added to the list. And the problem is sometimes it resets. I'd love to be able to log in with my account and have an account with it, because I think that'd be great, because then it could save the things. But it seems to track it for the most part. So we have our McKent line, and that in reality reinstating it will give us a lot of options, because we do have a large explosive repository there. So we've lost facilities, and the construction site can be used for other things, in my opinion. This is what I mean about these Liberty arms, which essentially come out of the side of the DSS, can teleport to other planets, lower those levels, like I said. It's essentially part of the Penrose, like kind of the idea of like having essentially orbital stations that are helping snipe things and just helping. Just, but yeah, see, feeble of citizens, they want to defend it. I get it. But the reality is that we were facing a defense gambit earlier, and I understand how people are, and I don't want to think that I'm above anybody. I want to have fun in the game, but I want to see if we can get an organized strike. The reason why I call them offensive is because the major orders are emergency, usually. They're like, emergency, do something, grab an icon. You can still achieve those while also achieving a strategic advantage. And so what you're trying to do is put pressure on Joel. So we want to put pressure on all three fronts, and of course we have different groups targeting each one. I know there's one group I follow, and they're purely bots, purely bot fighters. I have one that I follow that's purely illuminate fighters, and one that I follow that's completely bug fighters. And so I rarely see them on any other planet, so I know that they're contesting all three fronts. And so that's what matters, and they're consistent players. They love this game. And of course they'll dip in and out, but for the most part they're playing Helldivers, and I don't really switch up too much besides Space Engineers, because I like to build ships and stuff and kind of test and monkey around. But either way, so we got Rogue 5 here. Highly big advantage for the Chaos Divers. I really need the HCOs to confirm and authorize their design plan and their building, because technically it's not canon yet. So then they'll always have orbital cannons in their defense. I think this is how Arrowhead could win over their community, even with Sony dealing with what it is. It's that live RTS defense thing. So here you go. We have different areas that were pinned. Liberation of Borok, it went over successfully and then it came back. If we can hold that planet consistently, we tentatively will always have a better output of the fixed wing, of course, no matter what. If we can keep this, is the reason why I want those arms. It's basically we can set them up on planets. After it's been liberated, it can become defended. And it lowers the invasion levels. It changes how the parameter works. It's essentially just a defense grid. And so you're voting on a defense grid. Still DSS, just defense, meaning that it's not going to teleport to warp to different planets in emergency for the most part. You're voting on what planet it sits at after it's been liberated, or unless you want it purely in an attack mode. It's like you put it to an attack setting, and so that could be voted upon too. And so really we went through this whole offensive and with the incineration core, and I love them. They're freaking amazing. I'm going to go over some basic quick stats. We're going to go into the details here. We actually have an invasion level, so what we could do is essentially reduce them by a couple levels. So this could basically be a 1 level or almost a 0, because of those essential things like their orbital cannons that they have based on the story, but also based on what I want to put in as an actual piece of the DSS. So you're going to actually get different levels, and you obviously can see how much per hour is coming through it. With the higher invasion levels, it's way faster. And then we're going to go back to here, and we're going to go to the incursions, because we see the flames, and obviously drop on here because SOS. Huge thing. Invasion levels 18, so then it's still push. It is the major order target, so you're going to expect most people to go here. And that's what we want. We want them to actually defend the children. The disadvantage of this, though, is that there is a large portion of people who are going towards specific areas. So let's go to the specific map. And we're going to not do that. And we're going to go Control B out of this. Sorry, just stop out the plotter. So we're going to give you a basic example of how an RTS works in the sense of map Galactic War. Since anybody plays EVE or anything like that would understand this. And so we're going to bring it to the divers who maybe want to put more of an impact on the war without realizing they are. So there's some small levels you can take. I highly recommend going into like a 3 or 4 and doing oil missions. They still push the ticker quite far, especially if you do them consistently. Intelligence, oil, all of those things are actually assistant. And you can see the numbers. I don't know if how much detail they want to do in the sense of resource management and how much is in the background of this game. But the reality is, our space in our empire and federation to be able to, push a war machine. And I noticed when we lost planets, of course, we get cutbacks. Like, it'll say in the effects on your planet when you go to dive that it'll actually have like a cooldown or a reduction or something, like essentially saying that you're now held back because everything's taking just a bit longer. So that's the advantage about holding these key planets, and that's the reason why I want that defense grid. Or need, should say. So thank you if you do so. So now we're going to go through the reason why I personally am covering BECVEM 3 in the defense against the bots currently. I know there's going to be a whole bunch of people getting oil, so I'm not worried. We're going to hit that target, even though I know it's day 2, right, of it? Or almost day 3. Yeah, we're halfway through date where I am EST. So BECVEM 3 is essentially, we would have avoided a lot of recent things. I'm glad we took Martel. That was the whole point, take Martel, but we ended up facing a large sense, essentially, yeah, we've had to take 2 fights, and we could have actually moved in this time instead of failed to hold planet. And see, look how close this is to falling now, and I'm going to get in there soon. I had to do some answering to resumes and stuff like this after this. So this is just something that I wanted to kind of get off my brain, because it's nagging me, I guess you can say. I'm not trying to pick at anybody. I really want to improve our ability to strike fear and spread managed democracy. This is the managed part. And I know we would have like a superintendent to do this type of stuff, and of course we have some bots inside of Discords that help. So we obviously should have been taking this stuff earlier in the month. I was aiming for this with my initiative. So, of course, we had completed part of my initiative, which is the Vogue system. And then going up to Klasa. We're going, the factor is we're just moving in coalition with the lines. So we want Mankent back. This is one of the biggest ones. Vernon Wells is super important. We want Mankent back because it cuts them off. Once we get to Martar Bay, we can get the Chuhi. So the reason why BECVEM, is so important is because of total sector liberation. So these are the factors of companion. We got the defense gambit. So the defense gambit's like a chess game. When you're getting attacked, and let's say you have some knights in your area and a couple pawns and a bishop, and you can't get. So that's essentially what this is. So essentially, since you guys are like the queens / bishops and really the knights, we can move in an L shape. We move around the bots pretty easily if you start learning to move in the L. It's kind of funny. So big curves and L's, they don't really go well with them. They're like a chess game, especially. They'll line up and they'll shoot each other. Anyways, let's get back to topic. So you can see our health right now. That's their health declining. That's them now, because it's become now a enemy undemocratic pushback. So essentially they hold majority over this planet. So if I scroll up here, you'll see obviously the red is majority now. The liberation, no matter what, we have to lower this. The defense gambit essentially causes us that we can abruptly end something. So the reason why I've been saying my will now authorize to be destroyed underground facility that was originally put on BECVEM 3 is now facing the situation of we're about to lose it. So we have now authorized nuclear and ICBM codes, hell bombs, armed. No matter what, we are doing the hell protocol in my group. And as more people join, I would hope that we get some things. This is just like a little live stream. Hopefully it won't take too long for me to explain some basic things. So the text told us sector liberation. The reason why I'm happy the DSS here and I'm going to vote it for it to stay is that we can give up a whole bunch of my samples, even though I wanted to upgrade my ship. I can still manage. Basically is that we can actually push this. So if we had pushed this earlier when it was in the attack between Martel and that, we would have not fought these 2 planets. Of course, liberating these 2 planets, we follow the objective. But in reality, we would have ended up facing the other side of the map, and that would have got cleared, and then we could have made it an offensive. And so we're not going to go run on what ifs. This is the time to act now. We need to make sure we get these defense gambits. This is how we root out the socialist bots, and this is how we manage the bugs better with a wall. And the factor is we're trying. It's not really a blockade. I guess you would call that orbital control systems. So it's off planet, so it's harder for them too. But they still have satellites that you had to manage. So intel hubs and connectors and black boxes and all that shit. So yeah, we want this. The operational support, we want the DSS to hold this right now, but essentially it has a low resistance. So if we were all to stage this offensive, we would take back this sector right away, and we can move into the next sector. So I start drawing up little maps, and I've posted them to my group, and I posted them to a little bit to my YouTube channel. But this is kind of how I want to get across my messages with a little bit more live. We do it live for democracy. Anyways, we're gonna jump into this. Okay, so essentially we're looking at the strategic advantage of these places. Essentially, they all have something, and so orbital cannons were neutralized, and they were actually part of it. So they were destroyed originally, right? So that's what we call neutralized. This is still processing, even though they lost it. So that means somebody's still there somehow, or maybe. Either way, we could actually start using these, in my opinion. We could start using the fortifications for the most part broken, but you know, when you leave them, that you could recover some technology. Let's just say, we just have different advantages. Like, of course, the Mankent line has that, and so that's just defense grid. But we've lost the munitions research. You know, we've lost specifics, so that's the reason why VOG becomes so important, because it's a connection between these two grids. But for the most part, we just kind of want to contain them, and we've kind of been dealing with some stuff for that. They're trying to spread, of course. They're not going to go towards Super Earth. I highly doubt they're going to move past here much, especially if we can keep holding like Esser Pass, or any of these like lower planets. But for the most part, they're just going to try and spread back towards Moblin Creek, most likely. That's at least my projection. Because they're going to try and surround it, essentially. They want their space back, I guess you can say. But you think they'd be good with this massive sector of 5 to 6 planets. But yeah, you can see the different resistances. It's giving you some good statistics. I love this app for that reason. But you can see that's the reason why they're big. You can tell if they're a big planet and they have something on them based on what percentage they're giving off. I'm glad for this reason. There's obviously somebody here. How are you on Aurora Bay, buddy? Tester? Dev? Either way. So we're going to drop that quick plan. So essentially, I would say Jilheim is still a priority. Churin is definitely not. Everybody will have different... It's freedom to disagree, right? But of course, listen to your major orders. I'm going to expect the majority to still do this. Still go up against the bots in any major situation along with the major order. So this is the priority planet. That's what I'm going to circle in red. So this is priority Gambit specifically. So we're going to go with here. And so we are going to follow this line, and we are going to try and defend this planet. The reality is, though, we should not defend this. We should actually be focusing specifically on this planet. So when this planet loses, they instantly lose the connections, and they lose their routes that they only know because of us. The reality is of this world and our situation is that they know where Super Earth is in some sort, at least, and they know how some form of, you know, a situation, I guess you can call it, and encoded this message, you know, so no bots can see it type deal, we'll call it, based on making it canon. So Joel can't see it unless he wants to see specific things, and there's specific messages to Joel about how to do things. I gotta make the bots so much worse. My ideas make enemies so vile. So yeah, we're gonna take the Beckvem 3 planet ASAP. I'm initiating my Hell protocol. So that's the reality is, and then we're just gonna start blowing everything to smithereens. Light everything on fire, blow it to smithereens. They don't have their incendiary anymore, so this will actually cut off the incendiary, and they'll fall flat. They'll like lose their signal essentially, and they'll just stop moving. So that's the advantage. Their fleet's not above. So then we move to Marfark. This is the advantage. So this is when we go into green, even though I usually associate the bugs with the green. So do you know what? Let's move into the blue, because that's Super Earth's blue. Okay. So we're going to actually make a move into Marfark. This is what you call a defense offensive. It's an insurance plan, we'll call it. So we're just going to go pan over here a little bit. And we're going to take back some planets, mentally at least for now. We're going to visualize before we achieve. So we're going to zoom out just a smidget. And we're going to go into our defense. So this planet is actually great to be liberating. I'm okay with this. I understand. I would like to participate in some of this high command stuff. Working with the first CR has been wonderful. They're a pleasure to work with. And I have jumped into other places sometimes just to see what's going on, and help people out, and see what you guys are all about. But Vega is technically our priority, because that would take over the initiate and need for this planet to ever be liberated by much. So essentially you just have what they call rescue forces. So that's essentially what we're planning is SOS rescue forces. So this is SOS rescue right now. Obviously it says it on the planet. So if I go out of plotter and then I go into this, it says the SOS blinking. So we know, obviously, big ass ice planet. Love me some ice planets. No water to drown in by accident because you get flung around or anything weird. Also just fun to slide around and be a penguin. Note to self, you are a toboggan. So in democracy's name and liberty's light, we want to guide us to a ability to actually handle these planets. So this is the data archive. This is being processed. We lost these earlier this week. Or not, like earlier last week, I should say. This month has been quite interesting because we've had a lot of expanses and moves happen. So of course there's these areas we want to create a line in defense. That's why Grit Crooks and these are so important, because it essentially causes these to fall apart. They won't receive any extra buffs from these planets that have high amounts, so we wanted them to just wipe them out on these planets. The advantage is that we want to take Borok to surround these 3 planets. Being exposed is quite wonderful because they're great launching planets. Like this one's a launching planet inside of this to Nev 4. But reality is there's no FTL lines, of course. So what you're looking at is Hellmire to Nev, and then you want to jump in to get this way. If I can see a line, I wonder if we can establish new ones. Either way. We want to, of course, protect our scientists, and obviously the loss of our scouts, which is where we're based around, sucks. We're going to keep losing planets. The advantage is that we need to start pushing these. If they're legion level 15 or higher, you should be pushing these things in less than 5 hours, because that makes the dent. If you look at some of the other people like CounterStrike who've covered this, and a couple Salutes covered a couple of these, and there's a couple other ones that are in my Helldivers intel inside of the Phantom company. It's a playlist. It's just a whole bunch of people. I'm also creating a collaboration playlist, because I want to collect the stuff that's essentially going to help or show what Helldivers is really like, and to basically be prepared instead of worrying about the enemy being overpowered. You'll just be ready for them, and that's the thing. We've become more and more ready for bigger enemies with better equipment that we've been getting over the course of this period of time. They're trying to basically we're running a 3-front war, so that's quite disadvantageous. That's where we're always on defense. So yeah, we wanted to take these places. This is the forward command. Like that's the thing. Vernon Wells is quite important. So we can't reinstate most of this because they're hazardous, captured, fighting officer, but destroyed. See, like these things are gone. We just saved them before it happened, but we can still use this facility in a lot of this area to do something. So that's what I'm saying. These are memorial and or offensive cannons, meaning that we start to lead a fight back into the spaces. These guys are just defense. They're a time-based race. friggin' just constantly hit them. As soon as they're gone out of space, jump back into everything else. They are super easy to bounce out, and they're actually super easy. They're like zombies. You learn to herd them, you run them around, you get large quantities, and just mow them all down. And if you see a grenade, just kick it. Please kick it. Kick it back into the crowd. It gets caught up in their feet so easily, and then that's literally like 20 kills right there. If under pets, depends. I talk very enthusiastically about playing these types of games because I have always had fun with this. We're going to just go like that, pan that back out. So this is essentially, we're going to give you the last little bit of the plotter. So essentially, we want to be able to take these two planets real quick. But it's gonna be kind of confusing for me to not give you. Our goal, the green light, is this. This is our green light planet target. Because these are just to hold and keep them from pushing. But the green light planet is, you can go here, and then we go directly at them. And so we're gonna go right up into Aurora. And essentially, we want to take back this, cut them off from Menkent, take back the line, and then take on Cyberstan. We're not too worried about this. As long as we've captured this fully, we are going to have that data. And so we will have data dealing with Cyberstan. And so we really want to. We will always encrypt by via RP and myself when I do bots and I do things like either way. So we're gonna go back and we're gonna zoom back out because this is the other side of that offensive, the two-pronged offensive. We do want to push we're gonna go circle. So obviously we took this planet, right? So we're actually gonna be wanting to push this way. The more we push along certain ways, the causes more chaos for Joel. Two-pronged defenses are wonderful, but if you really want to say anything, organize the community and try to get more along it. This is the reason why I like the idea of that Freedom Alliance that happened, is that we understand the offensive. So what I'm gonna do is grab the white, and this is our priority sector. I know it's just maybe because our stuff is there. It's a priority because of what goes on, what items are inconsistency in the map, but mainly how to stop their current crusade, because they're trying to go back. They're basically trying to head back here to encircle. They want to encircle us before trying to, because they don't necessarily know where everything is. I mean, they do, but they don't, in quotations. So we're gonna move across now. This is the basic thing about our bugs. We're gonna go into yellow. So we want to absolutely frickin' take out this planet. This is a planet that needs to be liberated at all costs. I find that it's just consistently under attack. If we're gonna go for the three-front war, we realize we're gonna have to really step it up. This is the reason why I want these defenses. So we're gonna go into green again, and I'm gonna add the thin lines. So we want defense grids along these lines. That's why I was talking about those cannons. So essentially each sector will go from here. Let's grab it from there. That's a good round. We want it to go and pan. Either way. We want it to go around here. And we're gonna just go like this. We want it to go around here, but we want to obviously be able to defend planets, right? Create lines across them. So essentially we want to be able to put planets and defense them. So then once this is liberated, they can get one of the arms of liberty. It's like essentially a big old freaking senator or and liberators and it's just a big old satellite, big old satellites for explosive means and extra expensive stuff. Meaning it takes a lot of super uranium and super samples to power this thing. This is not just the DSS. This is Brasch. The Brasch forces, meaning that you only get them at level 150. I would say this is the reason why you want to build past, and I don't think they should have a level cap. Having a level cap is, to me, is kind of ridiculous, because you can just eventually say you gain the skill, now you're what they call a part of the redacted forces, and this is, you're just freaking, you'll get a basic title, but you don't get a symbol. It's like, now you're like you're part of the high command. 150 is quite high, but I think that at some point, because I've seen people who spam and break. Of course, there's people who cheat. I don't like cheaters. Cheaters suck. Nobody needs a broken heart. You gotta, play games. Don't break hearts. But why would you want to cheat? So yeah, we're gonna defend this planet because I want the Chaos Divers to keep their planet. I'm still, like I said, I am vouching and praying to the democratic gods and to Liberty's saviors that we get our Liberty arms, and that the community has a team inside of Arrowhead and Sony who wants to push the idea that they follow along what the community does. Fan cannon is canon, so I want my rail cannon, and or a big old sniper, like the Kaliber thing from the Titanfall mix-up that mashup somebody put out. Oh, I love the Kaliber, man. I think it's like a massive version of the Eruptor, essentially, stratagem. Obviously, it should take a long time to load and has a massive bolt. And laying down is probably your priority firing method, unless you're on your feet and kind of almost want to get knocked over. But yeah, we're gonna manage that out. This is kind of our situation. We're gonna just create a little map. I am feeling a little bit weird right now. That's okay. Drink the Liberty and the coffee. So we're gonna go here. So we're gonna take Grit Crux. We want to liberate this sector, of course, first, because this is the one with the factory hub. We want to keep this sector in lockdown because there's some secrets here that they encrypted, redacted. Don't want to. They're not allowed to know. Either way, we're gonna move up to here. We want this piece right here. We want to just put a line, and we want to essentially create a wall this way. And we want to take a wall. We're going to map this with here, and you're going to want to take, what the hell? You want to take these planets. Cuts it off. So all of this will get cut off. And that's kind of the point. Essentially creates a, let's call it the bug, like a Titan wall. Not a meridian-like structure. This is more like a containment zapping facility. In using the plasma arc design that I'm using. So essentially you could hold more planets with these arms. The more we can produce. We only start with one. That's part of the DSS, and it goes along with the DSS. It's considered an aid satellite. As we build them, meaning collecting more E710 and more super samples, and continuing on the sense of getting more and more resources and melting down bots, and researching the dark energy, we get more of them. So essentially it'll be like a month, what they call, we call them month initiatives. So my group follows month patterns and week patterns. So we will always have a mission plan. This is a little disorganized, I understand. So I'm gonna take that out. But yeah, so we're gonna aim for this today, guys. Today, tomorrow, over the next week, and over the next month, I am pushing this offensive. We are trying to save the situation here. The incendiary corps are not that hard. I highly recommend a mortar and EMP. People knock them down, but once you have it fully upgraded, it does target marked things. The more you ping those targets, the more you survive, the more your teammates are aware, and the more your ability to also call out your targets. Check your compass, take advantage of the HUD. Take advantage of your TAC map at all times. You have that split second where there's like just no enemies around and you just kind of did that quick head swivel. Pull it up. Check it. No ping. Oh, there's target. put it down real quick. Even while you're running, whatever you got to do. That's that perfect time when your stat bar and it says, I could pump a stim. Well, sometimes you go like, okay, well, I'm going to pump a stim and then check my tack map, because you're going to actually run a little, you're going to scamper just a little bit faster. That jog is just going to be a little bit quicker, a little bit more pep in the step. So, you know, but for the most part, if you're wanting to conserve those stims, I take that opportunity to either lay down, stay cover, stay hidden, kind of disrupt their line of sights, and or check that tack map and ping a target, or find something that's I can quickly analyze and get to. Just zoom it out, then zoom in, click on, done. And one of those things is just the biggest advantage. So this is what, as of now, the company that I am currently starting to manage, well, under the first CR, we will still follow their initiatives. Every time I'm not on their initiative, and if I have time to play, or I'm feeling mentally up to it, I'll be pushing this. So right now we are facing the bots, because we want to see if we can push a little bit further into their space, and then I SOS jump around, and I like helping out. So we are going to defend Rogue 5, because of course that needs to be, we are losing that, and we need to push that before it gets too much. I think we're all, yeah, we need to, it's already got 8 hours. 2 hours. Oh, that's really unfortunate. Yeah, we're needing a 36% increase. Yeah, see, like, that's the reason why, of course, defense orders still matter. You know, never individualize that. Once the defense orders are over, usually you can go. But I trust in you guys. Like, literally, I see 25,000. I know you guys can win. I want to see that number climb and see some liberty saving you, and democracy protecting you. And I want to see you guys just fucking ramp those numbers. I empower you to save democracy for liberty's light and freedom's reign. Yeah. So we're going to push this offensive. Taking VecFam 3 is a priority. Once you get over the SOS, then you're going to be good. I hope you know. The facility is going to be surrounded. So evacuate, and that's it. This is an evacuation plan. We're probably not going to be able to save the planet that easily. Especially with these incendiaries. People don't like them. They do not need to be nerfed. It's called skill issue. This is our RTS problem. It's because essentially this game participates like an RTS in some way, shape, or form. Like what they call a sector control game. I call them conquest games. I used to, like I said, I played Red Alert. I played like Sim Cities, and stuff where you have to kind of do stuff that involves sectors and knowing how things change and dealing with problems that come in and out. That's the management in me, I guess you could call it. But yeah, so we have linked planets. We want to try to cause the linked planets to be liberated. We want everything. Anytime like I said, I probably should get a bot for Discord to have this be posted inside of my Discord, because I need these. I would say the biggest thing that Super Earth needs is the offensive forces. We are the people who lead the tip of the spear. We complete the objective, and when we complete the objective in time, or there is enough of a defense gambit, and I see enough people on that defense gambit, I'm gonna go defense on that defense gambit and push all my time into it. Like, if you hit a level 10 and you get a good team and you push for a solid 3 hours, so that's three total campaigns. If you can get really go at the mission, those 10 level 10s can take about an hour and a half to an hour. Like, you can really push it even quicker if you can. Just hitting major objectives, stop worrying about the rest of it. Hit some basic sub-objectives. So I always say hit that recon tower as soon as possible. That intel communication is going to completely open up your map and make it easier for you guys to achieve your mission. Getting those black boxes are easy if you learn to just run into it, grab the blinking light, and run out. Do not worry about the enemy so much. You'd be amazed at how stupid the enemy really is. Sometimes they're easier than others, and of course some people have better luck than others. Obviously you want to have that fire armor right now, and if you do not have fire armor, I highly recommend learning your super dives. The biggest advisory for us currently right now with the bots is super dive. Every time you get fired at, stay low. Always stay prone. If you can, you're staying out of sight. You want to get your better shots. The bots especially can walk directly up to you and not know where you are. You can just lay down in a field of grass, and there's like some high stuff and like just a slight ridge, and if they lose sight for 2 seconds, they'll wander right up to you and you can just shoot them in the underbelly. As long as you're hitting that midriff in that red areas, you're good. Hit the red. That's all it is. Think of it like blood. Hit the red. They're like target practice. Keep your distance. That's also what I'd recommend. Keep your distance. Keep yourself in with equipment that allows you to keep your distance, and then have a group of at least 2 Helldivers to go in and take care of something. So you always provide oversight and overwatch. At least one should always do so. We run a strategy, we run branches. Organized stuff is not our specialty. You jump in, you complete a mission, you get your reward from us. Doesn't matter who you complete it with, as long as you say that, this is the best way we could do it, and you showed leadership, or you showed things, or you have footage of said mission. I highly recommend that you guys take initiative and find your way of helping the community, make Joel have a fun day instead of a boring day. Okay? Take care of yourselves, everybody, and for democracy, we shall win.